overestimating. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julie and I am a crochet artist trying to grow my small business as a crochet designer while also working full-time. Today's a beautiful day and I thought that maybe I would do some prototyping. Prototyping is where I get to bring an idea to life, and today I want to make a giant fortune cookie. I did get some chenille yarn for this project. However, if you've ever worked with chenille yarn before, you would realize how delicate it is. So instead of prototyping using my chenille yarn, I thought that maybe I would prototype with some cotton yarn instead, because usually during the process of prototyping, I anticipate to be making and taking it apart many times. And if I was to do it with chenille yarn, it would get destroyed in no time. So let's get started with some cotton yarn. So this is the beginning of my prototyping process. I'm starting with some cotton yarn because it's durable, and I'm making just a simple circle right now. I'm trying to figure out how many stitches I need in order to make it curve the right way, just like a real fortune cookie. I thought that the piece needed a little bit more curvature to it. So this is me taking it apart just like I anticipated as part of the whole prototyping process. It's a good thing that I'm not using chenille yarn for this process because it would not have been as easy to take apart. So this is a perfect example of me overthinking a pattern. So this is kind of what I came up with. But then as I was crocheting it, I realized that once I stuff it, it'll look like this a little bit. The top doesn't seem to puff up as nicely. I restarted it with just a regular circle, folded in half. And then now I put a little divot in the middle here, and look at that. I feel like this fortune cookie has a much nicer shape to it. So I was overthinking again. So I'm gonna probably redo it, and now I can use my nice yarn for it. Some people argue that prototyping is such a waste of time, but for me, I feel like if I prototype the pattern before I actually go and make it with the yarn that I intend to, I tend to go into it a lot more confident. Also, I really should have remembered how fortune cookies were made because I watched an episode of how fortune cookies were made on the Discovery Channel when I was younger, and they were indeed made from circles. So, yeah. So I just finished making this fortune cookie here. I just can't believe it took me so long, but it's done, and I made a little fortune that sticks out in here as well. I think the fortune might need to be a little bit bigger given how big the cookie is, but I don't know, what do you think? So I'm really excited to make a larger version of this fortune cookie here. I got this yarn from Hobby, which is the honey bunny yarn. I did get 2 skeins because I didn't know how big I wanted it to be, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks like I might be overestimating. We'll see how big I can get the circle when I start crocheting with this. So just because you prototyped a pattern doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. Here I am frogging my chenille yarn, and I did find that if you were to stick your hook into the last stitch of where the loop came out, it does help the yarn glide out a little bit easier. I managed to get it to this size. So far so good. I have about this much left. This is 21 rounds. Do you think I could get another round out of this? I think I might try it. If it doesn't work, then I'll just take it apart. So far, I think I found a pretty good way of taking it apart without ruining the yarn, so we'll give it a try. So this is how big using one skein of the honey bunny. I almost got 22 rounds. Just not quite. It's getting a little hard to pinch just because of the size, but this is how big it is now. I really envisioned it to be more of a pillow size. I did think that I wanted to make it bigger. So I'm gonna use up my second skein. I was really hoping to save part of it for another project. Let me see how far I can get. So I just wanted to talk about making gigantic crochet circles for a bit. Sometimes it can get a little cumbersome in terms of counting all your stitches and knowing where to make your increases, especially if you offset your increases like I do. I'm offsetting my increases just so that, you know, my increases are not all sitting in the same area, because I notice that when that happens, it tends to get a bit pointy at that area. So what I do is that I offset my increases every other row. So here you'll see an increase, but in the next round you'll see my increase over here. So I did find a pattern in that instead of, you know, counting every single one of my stitches and then making a mistake possibly, I just look for where I made my increase, not in the previous round, but in the round before the previous round, and then I make my increase right on top of that. And then to know where I'm making my next increase, I just crochet all along here until I find where my next increase is, which is right over here. And then this way, I don't have to count every single one of my stitches, and I can move a lot faster that way. Okay, here's an update. I've made a total of 30 rounds on this thing, and this is how big it ended up being. I still have some left of my second skein, but I think I want to save that. Let me turn it into a fortune cookie for you to see. It looks so floppy. Give me a second. Let's just lightly stuff this so that we can kind of see its shape. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's so cute! I was starting to doubt myself a little bit when it was looking all floppy. This thing is gigantic. It's bigger than my head. I mean, now I just have to sew it together, but I won't do that until I make the paper fortune. So, yeah. So I've been dragging my feet a little bit in terms of filming this last part of the vlog. Part of me is because I can't believe that it's coming to an end and that I've managed to film this entire process of me prototyping a brand new pattern. I'm still very brand new to vlogging and I filmed a lot. I had so much footage that I didn't even know what to do with. Luckily, I do have this brand new phone that I'm using to film right now, and it's made it really fun for me to play on my new phone. So even with editing along the way, I still managed to amount to about half an hour worth of footage. And truthfully, I don't know if you have wanted to watch me prototyping and creating for half an hour. Anyway, let me show you the final product. And this is what it looks like. So this giant fortune cookie is bigger than my face. Right here, this is right up against my face. So I did attach a paper fortune at the end of it, and I put a little heart on it at the end. It's probably the smallest size that I would have wanted to make my fortune cookie, because I don't really want to make it any smaller than this. This is how much I have left here. I did want to save this for another project, which is why I didn't make it any bigger, but at the same time, I think that this is a good size. This is probably like the size of a throw pillow. Now, if you remember my prototype, this is what it looks like. And I felt like, you know, looking back at it, I did overstuff this prototype fortune cookie a little bit too much. So when I created this fortune cookie, I didn't stuff it as much so that it can still have somewhat of a shape and not be too plump. However, I do know that polyester stuffing can clump over time, and I do worry that over time this fortune cookie might shrink a little bit from just usage. That's why I haven't weaved in the ends yet, just because I didn't know whether or not I wanted to put a little bit more stuffing in there before finally closing it off. It's so cute and I really like it. I hope that you enjoyed watching this vlog of me prototyping and creating a brand new pattern from scratch. As you can see, there's a lot of trial and error. I'm so new to this whole vlogging experience, but I've been having a lot of fun filming and editing videos, and I think I want to take you more behind the scenes of what actually goes on when I prototype a brand new pattern. So if you want to join in on the fun, make sure you hit the subscribe below for more crochet content, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!